Kia ora, welcome to Under the Checkered Flag, MotoGP edition. I'm your host Kate, and we're just going to jump right in.
It is Kelly, Pozza and Kate here to digest the weekend's racing at the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit of Jerez. It's been called, MotoGP's Monaco, and there were definitely aspects of that this weekend, but overall we got some sensational racing and surprising results in some cases. But we're going to start with Moto3 because I want to talk about penalties first up. So let's start with a rule that's been around for a long time, and that's riding slow on the racing line. It's been enforced here and there, and we're definitely seeing it become more of a problem. So the riders were warned pre-weekend that this rule is now going to be enforced quite firmly and is going to be actively monitored and actively penalised. The official rule is the riders will be penalised for completing sectors that are more than 135% slower than their previous time. So the cutoff for that's around 10 to 15 seconds, which is quite lengthy, in my opinion. So the riders were warned about this pre-race weekend, and we still saw Detweiler, Pirelli, Ralston all cop long lap penalties for being slow online in qualifying too. David Munoz, being David Munoz, took it a step further and was slow online after his personal best lap, and this saw him hit with a back of the grid penalty. So my question to the two of you is, what do you think about this being actively enforced now? Do you think it goes far enough? And what about these penalties?
I mean, they're fair. It's like it's not something we can complain about. I think it's good that they're being enforced. It's kind of like it shows the riders you can't do this. Like at some point, it's going to hit them that they can't do this. It doesn't appear to hit David Munoz though, not enough. But I hope I hope it does at some point. It's like every weekend I have to physically prepare for something to go wrong. It's like I have to wait for a set penalty, or I have to wait for him to do something stupid in the race. So I'm hoping these, obviously they're not really new, but like I'm hoping enforcing these more is going to be more beneficial really, and it'll lead to less incidents.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a point. I have an article up from Simon Patterson, which was about the penalties. I just need to grab it quickly. It appears I don't have it up. But it just kind of explains what the penalty is sort of about and why they've come about. Okay, I've got the article up. So it says that according to the races source amongst Moto3 teams, a new issue is being addressed at Jerez. It has been observed that some racers who have already set their fast times will act as if they're still fully committed to time attack mode in the final minutes of time sessions, hanging off the side of their machines as if they're trying to lap faster, while in reality riding considerably slower than their fastest lap of the session, which was in the end what Munoz got pinged for. And the reason that I believe that they're enforcing that is because of the incident between Alvaro Carpe and Scott Ogden in qualifying in Qatar. Some of the riders were saying that obviously they've been trying the tactic in Qatar, and some of them, after the stewards said that they wouldn't be allowed to do it anymore, were sort of happy with it because even they were saying it was getting a bit ridiculous with how like close they were coming to causing accidents, how many people were getting held up with it, how hard it is to spot someone riding like a lot slower when they're looking like they're still going. So I think the penalty for it was obviously well like deserved. If the stewards warn you, say you can't do this anymore, it's pretty simple that you shouldn't be able to do it. And of everyone to sort of ignore that, I'm unfortunately not shocked that it was David Munoz that got the penalty for it. Um, yeah, I feel like the only way they can really like show off their point and get riders to start behaving properly is to penalize them harshly. So hopefully they can find a point where David like actually starts complying with them and sort of straightens out the issues he's got. So yeah, I think the penalty was pretty fair.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing to be riding slow on the racing line carelessly, but them doing it with intent to deceive other riders in regards to like towing and things like that, it's not the kind of behavior we want to see. But onto the race itself, we saw a chaotic first couple of laps in which 7 riders crashed out, showing how dirty the track was offline. One of these riders was David Munoz, but also Almanza, Moodley, Rossi, Esteban, Buchanan, and Perez all crashed out in the opening stages. So it shows just how bad that track is offline, and it would definitely come up a bit later on when we get into the MotoGP sprint, no doubt. But for this race, it was another incredible performance by Jose Antonio Rueda, who won the race by over 4 seconds, and he seemed to pull out that gap in a really short amount of time, and he did it on a softer tyre compound than those around him, so that's just super impressive to me. Angel Baqueras picked up second place and Joel Kelso in third. What are your guys' thoughts on this race?
It was a bit of a crash fest, if we're going to be honest. It was actually terrifying, I'd say. It was just lap after lap, one rider down, next, next, next. I thought there was oil on the track or something. I thought something was wrong, but no, it's just very dangerous. I was Honestly, I was upset at Moodley. I really wanted Moodley to do well. I like the guy. He's nice and he deserved a good points finish, and that didn't happen because he was out on the first lap. He also, to my knowledge, wasn't walking properly at first. I think he's fine now, but it looked like a very, very hefty crash for him, so hopefully he's okay. Um yeah, Munoz, mate, what? What was that? It's like he has one decent weekend, and then for a solid 2 or 3 weeks, it all has to go to crap. I don't know what he's attempting to do. I don't know what the plan is, but it's just like it just gets worse for the guy. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, aside from that, I was really upset at Cormac. I thought he had a good chance at points this weekend, and it just really didn't go his way. Crashed out, rejoined, but at that point, what's really the point? You're at the back of the field. Eddie O'Shea, we might need to chat about him. I understand he obviously is. He's a Moto3 rookie, but at the same time, he seems to be crashing and having a lot more incidents than most of the other rookies in the field. I know the MLAV isn't that fast, so I don't expect big, massive results from him. And at the same time, crashing every second weekend isn't going to do him any favors. Um, I don't know if it's like an internal issue. I don't really know, but I'm just hoping he performs better than what he is right now. Rueda, yay! I've been put him on. I put him on my predictions almost every week, and the fact that he hasn't crashed yet has actually stunned me. That shocked me. Happy that Kelso got a podium. Great stuff. Jacob Rollstone, after his penalties, did come back to finish a solid ninth with 7 points, so that's good. And Scott Ogden didn't crash and 4 points, so yippee for me. So overall, pretty good race, and I actually did enjoy it.
Yeah, I thought it was a really strong result for Rueda. Obviously, he sort of more prefers the strategy of just pulling out in front, not dealing with a big group battle. So, not shocked that he's won in that way yet again. Seeing Kelso on the podium was nice. It was the second of 3 Australian podiums on Sunday, with Carter Thompson winning in Rookies Cup as well. So, good day to be Australian, if I do say so myself. Aside from that, we had 3 rookies in the top 10, with Guido Pini in P7, Alvaro Carpe in P8, and Valentin Peroni in P10. Aside from that, no other rookies got into the points. Aside from Cormac Buchanan, no other rookies actually finished the race, so bit unfortunate, but at least some of them are up there doing well.
And if I remember correctly, Buchanan had crashed out and then rejoined. I could be wrong in that actually, so maybe don't quote me on that. But okay, I've just been confirmed in our group chat that he did crash out, so you can quote me on that. For Moto2, it didn't really have the excitement for for Moto3 for me. It still had its moments. Like Moto3, we saw quite a few fallers in this class as well. Danny Holgado, I was especially disappointed about because obviously I'm still rooting for him to be Rookie of the Year. Guevara, Alonso, and Sasaki also fell. But I want to talk about Alonso Lopez because he crashed out not only once, but twice. He was then showed the black flag and disqualified for irresponsible riding, which I suspect is just part of the fact that he'd crashed twice and rejoined rather than actually irresponsible riding. But I am going to go back and check that just because I want to be sure. After all that action, we did get a bit of a good battle for third place between Diogo Moreira and Senna Agias, and we are definitely seeing a little rivalry there because they are going toe to toe in quite a few races this season, and I am loving it. It was Agias that took the third place. Barry Bouters had a great race, and Manu Gonzalez took the top spot and is back at the top of the championship. How did you guys find this race?
It was a good race. In terms of my predictions, I didn't believe in Manu Gonzalez nearly as much as I should have, but I'm happy that he won. You know, that's positive for me. Even if I did get it completely wrong. Thank you for letting me know that you want Holgado as Rookie of the Year because I don't. I love the guy, but I think he's going to get it. Very likely going to get it, but my man is still Colin Vire, and he managed to finish 14th and still get 2 points. Is it anything special? No. Does it mean he got a little bit more points to put towards Rookie of the Year? Yeah. So no complaints. Yeah, sad about Danny. He's normally on for good positions, so a bit annoying to see that. Alonso Lopez, Jesus. That was just a bad day. He doesn't normally do this, I promise. It's not normal. It was just bad. It was really bad. It just went from bad to worse to the point where even I was saying just retire. Like if I'm saying that it's a bad weekend, give it up. But yeah, David Alonso as well, having both CS Motos go down, that's like you wouldn't expect it, especially even if it is a team with both rookies. You have the Moto3 2024 champion there and Danny Holgado who finished second, I'm pretty sure. You have two really strong riders and to have them both fall down on the same race, not ideal. Ayumi Sasaki, I'm not really sure if this is, in the nicest way possible, I'm not really sure if this is his area. I don't think it's. I think he'd be better suited to super sport, kind of like where Maggio went. I feel like that's kind of his thing. I think that would be his little niche. But I just don't think Moto2 is working out for him. I really don't. I think just for his sake to go there. Zonta van de Gorberg, useless. My God, why was he so useless? Out of the 22 finishers, he finished 20th. Come on, man! With your experience, you should be finishing way higher than that, and it's just getting really depressing. Yeah, like I said, Fire 14, pretty positive. In terms of predictions, Jake Dixon finished nearly reverse grid. He finished 9th. I'll let the 5th place finisher be the shout out for Pozza because that's his little thing. But yeah, I'm really happy that Baltas got the podium. I think he deserves it. And then yeah, good to see Senna Agias on the podium finally.
Yeah, it'd be hard not to mention the 5th place finisher, but I'll group him in with a few others, just because obviously Senna Agias got on the podium, Diogo Moreira was 4th, and obviously Dennis Onchu was 5th. I think it's great to see the top 3 rookies last year now fighting for top 5s, podiums, the whole, like all the points up there. I think it's great to see, and I think next year we could see all 3 of them in a title fight, and I think that'd just be really entertaining. So, hoping that continues. Aside from that, yeah, and the other rookie that we haven't mentioned was Adrian Huertas in P13. It's a good job for him. The crash between Alonso and Guevara was quite unfortunate in my eyes. Alonso was just going for a move, lost the front, kind of wiped out Guevara, and then Guevara's rear tire kicked back, and I feel like saying absolutely clattered Alonso in the head is a bit of an understatement. But yeah, it was quite scary to see. It knocked his visor out, and he was quite clearly knocked around by it. Wasn't really steady on his feet when he was walking away. So hopefully he's fine. Hopefully he's all good and can keep doing well. He did pretty well this weekend aside from that. So yeah, hopefully that continues for him.
I can confirm that Alonso has been declared fit, which is the best scenario. I do have an issue with TV direction showing us that replay so quickly after we saw how unsteady Alonso was on his feet. I probably wouldn't have minded it after he'd been to medical center or something, but that's just, yeah, a little irritant of mine. Let's talk about MotoGP now, and we'll start with the MotoGP sprint. Well, I'm going to start with qualifying, really, because the sprint was a bit of a snooze fest. I think we can all agree on that. And qualifying was anything but a snooze fest. So Q2 saw Marc put in a really strong early banker lap that broke the track record. Comms basically said everyone else can pack up and go home because it was such a strong initial time. In the end, 5 riders did beat that initial time. The one I really want to talk about, as I'm sure anyone that's watched this weekend's action, is Fabio Quartararo, because he put that Yamaha on pole and he made it look effortless. And it was just so good seeing him so happy this weekend to be up there. Unfortunately, he did crash out of the sprint, but he didn't seem too upset by that. In fact, he was just happy to have led some laps. The podium itself was pretty predictable, with Pecco Bagnaia in P3, Alex Marquez in P2, and Marc Marquez in P1. Over to you two for your thoughts.
What can you actually say? Let's be honest. Yeah, going back to qualifying, pretty entertaining. I loved it. I was really happy to see Fabio at that level. The sprint was it happened. It happened. Did anything happen in it? No. Well, apart from Fabio crashing out, that really wasn't ideal. But yeah, and Miller crashed, not ideal. Zarco crashed, doubly not ideal. Literally nothing else happened. Like there's genuinely nothing I can say except Aldeguer finished 5th, 5 points, yay. Mark won, yay. Marco Bezzecchi got some points, yay. That's literally it. There was barely any actual racing in it, so that's my opinion. It happened.
Yeah, the sprint was quite lackluster, especially in the top 10 for me. During the race, I did say that after Quartararo went down, I'd be shocked if we saw any other overtakes in the top 10, and that was on lap 2. There wasn't another overtake in the top 10, so not ideal. But aside from that, I feel like it's great for like the sport, the spectacle, seeing Fabio Quartararo like fighting at the front again. He's such an entertaining rider when he's got the machine to do it. And that's something that was echoed by Marc Marquez. He said something along the lines of like the sport needs Quartararo up there fighting because he's just so talented, so quick. And yeah, obviously Jerez is his favorite track and one that would more suit the Yamaha than the other ones without any long straights. So yeah, it was great to see him back, fighting at the front, looking happy again, and yeah, just riding really quickly. I thought that was really good to see.
Sunday was a bit more of a spectacle. I admit, after the sprint, I went into Sunday thinking it was going to be pretty much more of the same. I was so hopeful for Quartararo still, but also Yamaha. So we get into the race, and then Marc crashes out while under pressure. Fabio Quartararo leads for a good chunk of time, like many laps. Unfortunately, he did succumb to pressure, and Alex Marquez overtook him. And we saw some good battles right at the start between Marc and Pecco, definitely reminiscent of their battles last year before he crashed out. So it was just a lot more fun. And the podium is pretty awesome because in Pecco, he still picked up third, although he was unable to overtake Quartararo on a Yamaha for a lot of the race. I know Quartararo is talented, but I feel like Pecco on that Ducati should have been able to overtake him. And so I guess that's probably a bit of a worry for Pecco. But Quartararo did get that second place, our first non-Ducati bike on a podium this year on paper. And in P1 picking up his first MotoGP win is Alex Marquez. Sensational for him, and yeah, just really happy to see him there with his family. I do want to shout out Maverick Vinales because we do know he got a podium early this year and he will always have that podium in our hearts because, tyre pressure rules. But he had a great ride this weekend and came home in P4. On the topic of tyre pressures, Aleix Espargaro was racing this weekend, and I'm a big Aleix fan. He struggled quite physically this race. He said that he hadn't done enough time in the gym on his arms, but it wouldn't have really made a difference because he picked up a 16-second tyre pressure penalty after the race. So those are my thoughts on it. What about you two?
Yeah, pretty bad for Leish. Poor man. Yeah, the race was a bit more entertaining. I'm just a bit annoyed over Aldeguer. He's been really on form the last couple of races. He's been doing a lot better compared to his probably his last bit of the Moto2 career and the start of the season. But he's really picked up the pace, and I think he's probably the best contender for Rookie of the Year right now. Before people start going on about he has a better bike, okay, still the same experience as everyone else. I'm really happy Alex won. He really deserves it. To be in the shadow of your brother for so many years and being told like you're the worst brother, you're not capable of that, and then to win on your own accord against everyone else, it's really special for him, and I'm really happy. Fabio Quartararo podium. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I obviously wanted to win, but to be in that situation, if the podium is the best you could have done, my God, I'll take it. Just really beautiful, really happy to see it. One person who wasn't happy to see it is Pecco Bagnaia. That man is not happy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the pressure is getting to him, but he's not performing the way he wants to, and he knows it. And if you're in his little Instagram group chat thingy, you'll see what he posts in there every weekend. He's not happy at all. So we'll see how that goes across the season. Maverick Vinales deserves a shout out. Had a great race. Thought for a minute he was going to go a bit more aggressive and try fight for the podium, but I think the best option was to just stay where he was, which he did. Good solid point finish. Yeah, Mark climbed back up to 12th, but at the same time, that's just not what it could have been. So I don't really have much to say about it. Great race overall.
Yeah, it was a really good race from Alex Marquez, and I'd say Fabio Quartararo as well. I didn't think he'd be able to defend from, honestly, any of the Ducatis behind him, so the fact that he only let Alex through, yeah, great result for him, and fair play to Alex Marquez as well, just because it's not like he only used the straight line speed of the Ducati to get past. He made the pass, and then on the next lap was already about 8/10 clear. So, good result for both of them. Obviously, Bangai will be a bit annoyed at himself that he wasn't able to get past Yamaha at Jerez again, because the same thing happened in 2022 for the race win. But at the end of the day, he outscored his teammate, and I feel like that's the main positive that he'll be taking out of the race. Aldeguer was unfortunate in his crash, but at the end of the day, he's a rookie. He'll make rookie mistakes. That's how it works. The big thing is obviously learning from them so they don't happen more and more in the future. But he's not really got much pressure on him, so I'm sure that he can keep turning that around. Aside from that, top rookie was Ayagura in P8, another good result for him. And yeah, that's just about it for what I have.
That's it from us this week. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll be back next week where we'll be looking at some of our happy surprises, as in who we thought is performing better this year than expected, and who we think is underperforming. So join us next week, but for now, have a wonderful week.